Indiana basketball dropped another one as they dropped to 14-12 on the season, this time at home to Nebraska, 85-70. Just a really disappointing performance from the Hoosiers. This is the Hoosier Illustrated Postgame Wrap-Up. I'm Drew Rosenberg. It's Kyler Staley. Kyler, I guess where does Indiana go from this year? Go from here right now? It seems like a lost season at this point.
Yeah, I've said it a lot of times on our podcast. I've said it on here, just the people in passing. But April can't come soon enough for this Indiana team. And I've said it a lot of times that I think April's going to be the most important month for this Indiana team this season. How weird that sounds, but yeah, obviously you're not going to go anywhere with this roster right now. Mike Woodson's about squeezed about as much as he can out of this roster, I think. Now, obviously, he's got some faults of his own with that. But yeah, tonight was just very poor. Other than that little stretch they had where they were down, what was it, 22 at one point, and then they came back to it within 3. That was in the second half. But go back to the first half, the effort just wasn't there on both ends of the floor. Then you especially look on the defensive side of the balls. I don't want to say that Nebraska was shooting great just because of the lack of defense from Indiana. I don't want to say that at all because I want to give Nebraska a ton of credit. They were hitting shots, and when you're hitting shots like that on the road, you have the advantage there. But it's just the little things, the going after the loose balls, the making the extra attempts for rebounds, the things like that. Just the extra plays is what really bothers me watching this Indiana team. Now, obviously, you showed some fight in the second half. Got within 3. The crowd was back into the energy was back in it. You were playing with energy. Then a couple of bad plays happened, and then all the air just went out again. And that's just kind of been Indiana this season. The Jekyll and Hyde performances from game to game, and then within a game. So another disappointing loss. There's not much more you can say about it, but it's just disappointing. And honestly, they need the offseason really, really bad right now.
Yeah, I know Mackenzie Mbako, he did set a career high with 22 points, 7 for 17, though, from the field. So not really his best performance as a Hoosier. The only real standout performance I could kind of give is Malik Reneau, 15 points, 6 or 7 from the field, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Really played well, just could not stay out of foul trouble with 4 fouls in 29 minutes. Just has been a recurring theme for him. I guess, what does Indiana need to do? Not to turn the season around because it feels so late at this point, but what does Indiana need to do to salvage what's left?
At this point, play with pride, play with fight, be competitive. And we've said that a bunch. We've said that going back to December that this team needs to show a little bit more fight, needs to be a little bit more competitive from games. But honestly, that's what it is. Right now, you want to build momentum towards the off season. Mike Woodson needs to do his best coaching from this point out because, when it comes to the portal, it's like free agency in a way. Obviously, there's players out there that already know that they're going to be entering the portal before the season's even over with right now. Mike Woodson needs to really show that, like, hey, we need some help. This is what you can do. This is how you can help us and everything. To those players that already have their kind of mind that they're entering the portal. But, just you got to try to build some momentum. Going into the Big Ten tournament. Obviously, when it comes March, anything can happen in March. But yeah, it's a lost season right now. It's not fun. It's very, very frustrating to watch. It's going to be a long. What do they have? 4 or 5 games left. It's going to be a long stretch. So about 2 or 3 more weeks of the regular season. So you just got to finish it out. You got to play strong. For the seniors that are there, if they're obviously, Xavier Johnson and Anthony Walker, they're not coming back. But for Trey Galloway and Anthony Leal, you don't know what they're going to do. So those guys just really need to play as hard as they can, just to finish the season out strong. And I think the big thing for Woodson as well, he's got to get guys like Gabe Cupps, keep getting Mackenzie Mbako strong minutes. And he's got to play someone like CJ Gunn a lot more. To see what he's got there and keep building the confidence. I think one of the bigger highlights for me this game was watching CJ Gunn. He shoot the ball with confidence and play defense. That's what he does. He plays with the spark. That's good to see with that. But, just got to show some fight, to finish out the season and then obviously get into the Big Ten tournament and see what happens.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, let's call it how it is. Indiana's not making the NCAA tournament unless they can miraculously win the Big Ten tournament. It's just the
Yep.
truth. It's where the season is at this point. Obviously, there was a lot of dudes in the crowd. There was even some fire Woodson chants. I guess, Tyler, where do you think the program goes moving forward? Do you think there's potential for a change in leadership, or do you think it's Woodson will get another year?
Absolutely not. I've been strong with Woodson, and I've been, I wouldn't say I've been a Woodson supporter, but, I've been on the side of Woodson. Um, at this point in time, really doesn't deserve a whole lot of the hate that he's getting. I think a lot of Indiana fans needed to realize that this season was not going to be a good one going in. It reminds me a lot of, and Drew, you probably won't know this reference or not, but it reminds me a lot of the 13 and 14 Indiana basketball season. The year that they, the first season where they didn't have Cody Zeller, they didn't have Victor Oladipo. It reminds me of that one where there was a lot of talent on the floor, but things just weren't clicking, and it was a young team and everything. So, absolutely not. Wilson's not getting fired. That's just not going to happen. But what he needs to do is he's got to learn from this season. He's got to learn a lot. And I think just from listening to the pressers, the Zoom calls, and things like that, I think he kind of understands where we're at on this. Just the fact that he's the one mentioning right now. He's like, we lost more home games than we have the last 2 years. He mentioned that we needed to add some pieces and things like that. And, obviously no one's going to feel sorry for Indiana basketball, and he's totally true with that. So the good thing is that he recognizes what's going on right now. I think Indiana fans need to realize that. And then obviously he needs to have a strong offseason next year, needs to turn things around and get back onto the good graces of the Indiana fans. And it's not all of them. I think it's split up pretty evenly. And I would even say about 60% of the Indiana fan base is still with Woodson. But just gotta finish the season out strong, man. That's pretty much all you can do at this point.
Yeah, Indiana basketball is back in action on Saturday when they travel to face Penn State on the road. For Hoosier Illustrated, I'm Drew Rosenberg. That's Kyler Staley. Thanks for watching the Hoosier Illustrated Postgame Wrap-Up.